now with all the stories making the headlines at home and around the world. It's the ITV News.
England focus on their path to the World Cup final after victory over Norway. Now for the fans and players, the next task to beat Argentina in the semi-final.
Jude Bellingham, Sir Jude Bellingham.
He's on magic sauce, right, him and Kane. I'm just glad we got it done.
Argentina, bring it on!
Also tonight, at least 27 people are killed in a huge pub fire in Bangkok. Here, a new arrest over the alleged murder of Anne Widdecombe. Police say there is no suggestion of political motivation. And still king of the court, Italy's Yannick Sinner retains the Wimbledon men's title.
This is ITV News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good evening. After the celebrations last night, England's men now set their sights on achieving what hasn't been done since 1966. Having beaten Norway in the quarterfinals, they are but one match away from securing a place in the World Cup final. Jude Bellingham's magic got them over the line in Miami, but it wasn't easy. With stern words from coach Thomas Tuchel, he knows only too well the risk posed by old rivals Argentina this coming Wednesday. Here's our sports editor, Steve Scott.
An anthem fit for a genius who, almost single-handedly, led England to a World Cup semi-final. Jude Bellingham with another breathtaking contribution. 2 goals and a commanding presence throughout. The classic contest against Argentina and Messi now lies ahead. A contest most in England will be glued to. In truth, the Three Lions were not at their best.
Very, very difficult for ourselves today. The result is fantastic. We're in the last 4. It's amazing, but not happy with the performance.
Bellingham is the player of this tournament so far. 6 goals from midfield is astonishing. Head coach's verdict, Bellingham was quick to defend his teammates.
Or maybe he doesn't know what it's like to play in those kind of conditions against Erling Haaland, Odegaard, Nusa, Sorloth. You know, that's not an easy team to play against. So, you know, I think we've tried to create a positive environment. We should continue that going into the Final 4.
While Thomas Tuchel and Jude Bellingham may have seen the game in different ways, fans will be hoping that England have created such a good environment that a difference of opinion will not be disruptive.
Most, of course, were unaware of any potential tension.
No way, no way, no.
And frankly, were just glad to be there when England passed yet another World Cup milestone.
The generational player of our time, Jude Bellingham, Sir Jude Bellingham.
He's on magic sauce, right, him and Kane. I'm just glad we got it done. Hey Jude, best night of my life. In my 33 years, and it was the better than that night.
A bit stressful at times.
I thought physically sick actually, to be honest, but no, it was just fantastic.
Two great rivals now face off on Wednesday. Expect to hear a lot about the hand of God, Beckham's sending off in the coming days. England just one good performance away from an historic World Cup final, the first in 60 years.
Well, let's hear more now from Steve on why taking on Argentina at the World Cup means so much.
England against Argentina, what a mouth-watering prospect. 2 teams with so much history between them and so much World Cup controversy between them too. A couple of examples, the most famous one, of course, 1986 at the Azteca. Maradona's game, the hand of God goal, followed by one of the best goals you will ever see in a World Cup. And then 1998, well, that was the game you'll remember when David Beckham got sent off. Interestingly, England have never faced Lionel Messi in an Argentina shirt, so that's something to look out for. And I think overall it's fair to say that England in this tournament haven't been their best throughout an entire game. They've been brilliant at times against Mexico particularly, but also in spells against Croatia. But, and it's a big but, if they're going to get through to their first final since 1966, 60 years, they're going to have to do more than just rely on the brilliance of Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham.
Steve Scott reporting there from Miami. Well, next, at least 27 people have died after a fire engulfed a pub in Bangkok. Firefighters are said to have contained the flames now. Our correspondent Neil Connery has been following the situation, and Neil, truly horrific what's happening.
More details emerging in the past hour. This fire engulfed a bar in the Chatuchak district in the north of Bangkok, and the Thai media say that it's a well-known entertainment venue. Rescuers say it was reported around midnight local time. Footage shows that a huge blaze is raging out of the front door. The country's Prime Minister, as you say says that it's killed at least 27 people. A musician who was performing says he saw smoke coming out of a circuit breaker near the stage before an explosion. People running for safety as the flames spread quickly. It took fire crews half an hour to bring it under control. Several people taken to hospital. An investigation is now underway. Thailand has seen similar tragedies like this before. In 2022, 14 people lost their lives at a fire at a music bar in the east of the country.
Yeah, thank you. Iran says the United States has attacked military targets on Qasem Island close to the Strait of Hormuz in response to Iran's attacks on several of its Gulf neighbours. They are the latest in a series of tit-for-tat strikes from both sides midway through the 60-day interim peace deal. Donald Trump and the US military claim the strait is open, but Iran says it will be closed until the US ends its interventions. A 28-year-old man from Rotherham has been arrested for the alleged murder of Anne Widdecombe. The former Tory minister and Reform politician was found dead in her home in Haytor in Dartmoor on Thursday. Police say they do not believe the attack was politically motivated. Sam Holder reports.
With the announcement of an arrest, more questions than answers. Anne Widdecombe's body was found at her home in rural Devon. The man suspected of her murder was arrested more than 260 miles away in Rotherham, South Yorkshire, by a team including counter-terror officers. But there has been no explanation about any potential motive.
At this point, there is still no information to suggest that this is a terrorism-related incident, and at this point we are not looking for anyone else in connection with this murder. There is nothing to suggest that it was politically motivated.
So, what happened here? That is the question that the police won't answer at the moment. And Widdecombe's body was found on Thursday, but officers believe she may have been killed 24 hours before that. What we've been told is that a man who's white and 28 has been arrested, and they are not searching for anybody else. Amidst a growing air of mystery, memorial services for one of Britain's best-known politicians, including at her local church.
Anne used to come here regularly and was very highly thought of. Lovely lady.
Reform members and the party leadership arrived in her village of Haytor to remember their colleague.
We thank you for all that she gave to this nation in service of the people of this nation.
Deep shock. I was standing up at the time and I nearly fell over. And when I got a text from the Chief Constable to say we need to speak, I thought something's not right. But then to actually hear the words was devastating. And it still is devastating. It's more shocking than one can imagine.
That has been the reaction across the board. Genuine shock at the nature of the crime and the well-known name of the victim. Sam Holder, ITV News, Haytor.
Two British hikers feared to be missing have been found alive after deadly wildfires in southern Spain. The man and woman are thought to have suffered 40% burns. They were discovered after search teams went back to recheck an area affected by the fires. At least 12 people are believed to have died in the Almeria province. 4 of them are thought to be British nationals. Kit Bradshaw reports.
It was really windy on Thursday, wasn't it? And it was blowing that way, so we were very lucky.
As flames took hold just metres from their home, Sarah and David Brumley only had time to grab their passports.
Our neighbours came and alerted us because to say, well, there's a fire. So we came out and looked, couldn't believe what we were seeing. So we then all got the houseboats out to try and douse down near our property as much as possible.
The wildfires swept across Spain's Almeria province over recent days, forcing 1,000 residents to flee and leaving 12 people dead. Charred countryside now stretches for 7,000 hectares. Another British couple on a hiking trip were rescued in the middle of the night, found down a ravine semi-conscious and badly burnt, when these police officers heard a faint sound.
Well, given how desolate it was there, whenever we shouted, within 2 or 3 seconds, we'd get a sort of response.
The couple are reported to have suffered burns to 40% of their bodies and remain in intensive care, while better overnight weather has allowed hundreds of others to return to their homes.
I've been to have a look at the house, everything's fine, and there's no problem as far as we're concerned.
The fire took us by surprise. We left very quickly because the flames were so intense, and so we had to get out of there.
A broken electricity cable close to an abandoned bar is being looked at as a potential cause of one of the deadliest wildfires in Spanish history. Work to find the missing amongst the burnt-out shells of homes and cars goes on, as forecasters warn southern Europe could see temperatures in the 40s again by this time next week. Kit Bradshaw, ITV News.
England are looking for a new Test cricket coach after the surprise sacking of Brendan McCullum this afternoon. The New Zealander will stay on as one-day and 2020 coach, where he oversaw yesterday's victory over India. That moved to England, moving to the top of the world rankings, but recent Test results have been poor, and cricket chiefs say that's the reason for his departure, rather than off-the-field issues.
In the end, unfortunately, in sport, it's all about results. Results are the key element, and after a difficult winter with the Ashes and then, unfortunately, losing the New Zealand series, we felt that it's now time to look to the future.
And finally tonight, he did it again. Yannick Sinner has retained the Wimbledon men's singles title for his second year. The number one seed didn't have it all his own way in a tough clash against Alexander Zverev. The Italian's mom even struggled to watch and at some points had to leave. Jake Robson reports.
The men's Wimbledon final is an event like no other, with defending champion Yannick Sinner taking on last month's French Open winner Alex Zverev on the most British of occasions, fit for royalty. With these two being the first and second seeds, the opening set was as close as one might imagine. No drop of serve until 15 points into a tiebreak before the deadlock was broken.
Zverev is ahead in the Wimbledon final.
As ever, the great and the good turned out at SW19. Stars from film, TV, fashion, and even Ali G was in the house. The second set went exactly the same way as the first, only this time in the tiebreak it was a formality for the world number one.
Well, settle in, it's 1-7 here.
The Italian was back in the match. But a remarkable turn of events was to happen in the third, when Zverev, on a break point, did this, and seemingly feeling the ill effects, was to succumb on his own serve.
The record is gone. Maybe the set with it.
And after 3 hours and 46 minutes, it was all over, as Sinner, who'd been 2 sets to 1 down in his opening match, claimed Grand Slam number 6.
How about that? How about that?
My mom, and I see her, she left the stadium a couple of times, and you know, it is being a player, it's not easy, you know, so.
Sinner's mum will be hoping for an easier time at the US Open next month. Jake Robson, ITV News.
And that is all from us tonight, from me and all the weekend team here. Good night.